It's been a
It
while.
returns!
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, that's to say the least, ever since some company decided we couldn't do it.
Yeah, although that was back when I decided to make editing even harder for myself by adding images to this.
That is true.
Probably something I won't be doing again in a hurry, considering anything related to anime has got me a copyright link. I kid you not, YouTube forced me to watch an episode of the Happy Tree Friends until it was satisfied that I learned enough about copyright.
Yeah, that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard in my life.
Moving on, yeah. We're moving on to manga because there was one arc that's been going on in a shounen manga that I just feel going over it in quickfire reviews doesn't do it any justice, because frankly it's been getting to the point where I feel I need a therapy session talking it out with someone else, and that manga is Bleach.
It's always Bleach or Naruto in the past, because frankly, unless you're One Piece, there's no way to top Naruto in terms of bad.
Yeah, but I still think that there are good moments of One Piece and that I haven't read through the whole series, and I do that, well, partially because I have seen good moments of the One Piece anime, and also because I have a feeling people are going to kill me if I say otherwise, but anyway,
I have no fear of death, good man, for I am Sven the Crusader!
Just so you know, he doesn't speak for us! Anyway, moving on. Long-time listeners to this show may remember that me and Sven used to talk about Bleach quite a lot and all the things that have been happening from month to month. In fact, there was one arc that started a while back. Basically, it was Ichigo supposedly losing his Soul Reaper powers, the thing that made him special in the first place, and having to start a new life. Although, as it turns out, there are these people who have abilities called Full Bring, which allows them to extract the soul of an object, whatever, but basically give them superpowers that come from one object. And then they got complicated, to say the least.
And to say it got even more complicated is saying something, because Kubo had already gone through an explanation about how orange juice has a soul.
Yeah. We made fun of that at the time, and if we had any idea of how weird it was gonna... Yeah, okay. They train the protagonist, Ichigo, to try and activate his Full Bring so that he reach a new level of power and apparently cure them? I don't know. But then this guy showed up and it looked like he was going to be the villain for a while, Tsukishima. And he has the power to basically just hypnotize people by stabbing them. It makes sense in context, I assure you. And
Well, after Aizen, yes it does.
yeah, basically he stabs you and then you... instantly, you know him all your life, basically. You stab him and you think, oh, now I remember who you are. You're my best friend, the one who saved my life 2 summers ago. You know, that kind of thing. That was when it started to get really good, because all of Ichigo's friends are suddenly acting like Tsukishima's been around with them for years. Like, oh, look, it's our cousin and everything. And Ichigo's slowly going mad, because he knows that Tsukishima's the enemy. Hell, Tsukishima tried to kill him at one time. But everyone else is against him, saying, why are you attacking Tsukishima like this? And he just slowly goes mad, starts to get angry, and runs off. And then it seems like the only ally of his is Ginjo, who's apparently the only one that wasn't cut. Although, there was one point where he was cut and says, don't worry, Ichigo, I was stabbed, but I'm still your ally. And everyone thinks, oh, it's alright then. But then, as part of building up Tsukishima, one of Ichigo's friends, Ishida, got attacked, and he then shows up and he's got an arrow pointing in their general direction, and Ichigo was going, oh no, you weren't hypnotized too, were you? And Ishida then says, no, you don't understand. The guy who attacked me was the one standing behind you. And then Ginjo basically stabs Ichigo and reveals, hello, I've been the main villain all this time.
And, you know, normally that would come out of nowhere, but given the foreshadowing Ginjo's had through this arc, there was no way I was trusting him.
Yeah, we'll get more into that in a moment. And then, what's been happening recently is, in this moment of darkest hour, the Soul Reaper captains, plus Rukia, all came back, restored his Shikigami powers, and then they revealed that Ginjo is in fact the first substitute Soul Reaper, which is in no way similar to Yu Yu Hakusho, where the villain being the first ever spirit detective. Oh no.
Although, before we get into that being convoluted or anything, I do just want to say this. In fairness, Ginjo did have on him a Soul Reaper badge the entire time, so, well, that did come out of nowhere a bit. It was foreshadowed, at least.
That's true.
Not like him turning evil, but hey.
Yeah. And then after that, throughout the past few weeks, it's pretty much been the Soul Reaper captains and Ichigo fighting Ginjo and all of his minions. Although, fighting is too strong a word, since it's pretty much been a curb stomp battle for every single one of them.
And, you know, I've come to the conclusion from this that Kubo does not do middle ground. Either the fights go on for years, or they go on for seconds.
Actually, I've heard a comment similar to that where they said there are only two types of battles Kubo could do. Ones that end with a Deus Ex Machina, or curb stomps. There's never an even struggle.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any battle that actually was fought on even ground with just the powers revealed.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I know. I mean, the only one I could possibly think of is... Alright, there are only two examples I can think of, and they both involve Kenpachi, but that's mostly because Kenpachi's a berserker who just takes anything that comes his way anyway. I think his fight with Ichigo and Toshiro are the only two I can think of that were even close to beating him.
Yeah, and, well, in fairness, there was kind of the battle with Neutra, but then there was the kendo thing at the end.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I can hold it with two hands and get more power.
That was the most hilarious combination of Deus Ex Machina and Curb Stomp at the same time, because from the start you knew Neutra was not going to win.
Yeah. It's Kenpachi. Ichigo was the only person Kenpachi's ever lost to, and even then, it was more or less a draw anyways.
Holy hell, I've just realized that was the only draw Ichigo has ever had.
Indeed, those two are so broken they can't lose only to...
And that's saying something, considering the fact that Kenpachi's only ability, really, is swing sword with incredible power.
That's pretty much it. It's pretty much swing your sword and take any hit that comes your way.
Yeah, and as it turns out, he's just incredibly good at doing it.
Yeah, and in fact, that was literally one of the first of many surprises in this arc, in the fact that he comes up against this guy and he goes, here's my Kelly Swamp battles, this guy is incredibly weak, and the guy, he just grows like massive muscles and he goes, Mwahaha, I have developed this superpower, then goes on a massive explanation about how his power time holds no lies or whatever the feck it was called. As apparently he gained a new level of power, and Kenpachi just cuts him in half and he goes, boring, and then it ends. That was the end of a chapter, so we were thinking, oh no, this is Kubo, it's gonna lead into a fake out, and it's gonna reveal that he has another power that prevents it. No, he dies! The next chapter ends with his body parts falling to the ground, and we're just going, okay.
And to be honest, when it happened, I was very refreshed because after Fake Karakura Town, I never want to see those back and forth year-long battles go on ever again, ever.
Yeah, that is...
But then he kept doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would have been cool if there was some sign of struggle, but most of the time, it's just been the Soul Reapers stomping every single bloody opponent they come across. There's no tension at all, to be frank.
Yeah, I see what Kubo's going here for, because, let's be honest, it's kinda easy to read his intentions. After all, he's trying to exhibit the fact that it's been 2 years and now all these Soul Reapers are way stronger than they were before. It's just... struggle? It exists. Yeah. These people are nowhere near on the level of the Iran guys.
Yeah, and I think what makes it even worse, and the reason why I think this arc's been kind of disappointing is because if you go back to earlier Monkey broadcasts, you'll notice that me and Sven are speaking really positively about it. We're saying, oh good, there's a change. We're liking what's going here. This is looking like the new bit. And then it turns out Kubo really couldn't keep up the kind of lifestyle or tension stuff for very long. So we then started to see the plot points that are just repeated from other arcs. I mean, think about it for 1 second. A charismatic guy who pretends to be their ally, while someone who is, well, transparently evil is going around causing all sorts of problems, and then he reveals his case by stabbing his closest friend and ally, and also reveals that he's in fact far more powerful than he lets on.
Yep. Anybody see a pattern?
And not to mention that he has a group of minions who have very shallow personalities, but cannot die without a flashback that's supposed to explain their motives and backstory.
Well, so far, thankfully, that has only happened once.
Twice, actually. Well, it wasn't the flashback, but still.
Well, I mentioned the other one was a brief flashback, and then it just kind of abruptly ended. So It's not got to the ridiculous level it was at during the Arrancar battles, because I mean really, trying to flashback your way out of Neutra and Barrigan? Really?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think it's even more half-assed than before. I mean, some people will say, well, at least this chapter finally gave me a reason to care about execution, and I can see where they're coming from in that, but my argument is always that it's such a half-assed way to do it. Like you said, it was only brief. They don't even go into that much detail, and so the way they do it is really contrived. Like, there's one battle where, oh, you're better than names. What's the name of the kid with the PSP? Is it Yukio or something?
Yukio.
Oh, okay. Hitsugaya, who's basically this 12-year-old that Kubo keeps trying to tell us is badass, and Yukiko, who powers come from a USB and has the ability to trap people inside a gaming dimension, basically, are fighting. And Yukio is basically summoning all of these monsters to try, like, to him, and he starts taunting him by going, "Ha! You're pathetic! I bet the only reason you're a captain is because you come from a rich family who bought your way into this high position." And the next line, instantly straight from that, is, "Oh right, so your parents abandoned you then." I was like, what?
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just, I'm not sure how the hell you made that link. Like, you bet you bought the position. Oh, so you had family issues. And he's correct, by the way. He has the whole wide-eyed expression. He goes, no, they didn't abandon me. I ran away from them. And anyway, I destroyed my father's company. That will teach him to leave me alone, blah, blah. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and let me just say this. If it had been executed in any sort of believable way, that whole battle would have been way more enjoyable, because seeing that arrogant little prick Yukio defeated by trolling was just priceless otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's gone down is pretty cool, just sort of being frozen from top to tail, basically, but it's just, yeah, the entire way they try to come up with a backstory, it's just so half-assed. It's kind of revealing that all Kubo's really doing is just designing potential minions, making the cool costumes and powers for them, and then just slapping on a backstory just towards the end, which he clearly has not put any thought into. He treats it as a last-minute thing.
Yeah, it's just kind of frustrating, really, after all the progress that we thought was being made.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I never thought I'd say this, but the Arrancar arc was better executed than this.
Yeah, I mean, well, some of the Arrancar, their backstories were kind of believable. This is just so tacked on. I mean, like one where one person briefly goes, "If only there would be good people like you, then I wouldn't have turned out this way." No bloody explanation why.
And also, the thing about the Arrancar was, they had characters, too. They had something to go off of. This, we're just relying on what Kubo tells us out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much so. I mean, okay, I wouldn't say the Arrancar were three-dimensional characters, but at the very least they had characteristics that separated them. You had the one who was a sadistic prick and liked to attack people when they lose. You had the cocky battle king, Grimjo. You had the silent Okiora. You had Brannigan, who was the arrogant old man. You had Hannibal, who was, well, just a woman. But they had some characteristics at the very least. Here, I'm desperately trying to figure that there's Riruka, who's kind of yet another love interest for Ichigo, and then there's the kid who just appeared to be bored and we're now told is apparently a psycho with daddy issues, and
yeah, the thing is, the Arrancar arc, for better or for worse, had a lot of time to develop the villains.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.